It is the final budget before the 2026 general elections, and the air is thick with anticipation. Finance Minister Situmbeko Musokotwane has unveiled a 253.1 billion roadmap. That's in kwachas. But look past the headlines. You see, the most important number in this 1,000-page document isn't the total, it's the 81.6%. Why is that? Well, that is the percent of this budget funded by us, Zambian domestic revenue. For the first time in a generation is 50 years, by the way, we aren't waiting for a donor's permission to grow. We are entering the 2026 consolidation phase. We've moved past the debt default ghosts of 2021 and are eyeing a whopping 6.4% GDP growth target. But as any business owner knows, growth on a spreadsheet doesn't always mean cash in the bank. Today, we aren't just reading the budget, we are dissecting it for your bottom line. Who wins? Who pays? And how do you position your business to catch this 253 billion kwacha wave? Welcome to the Indaba. Now let's start with the most talked about item, the 5 billion kwacha SME Credit Guarantee Fund. For years, you've told me in the comments, I have a great business, but the bank wants my grandmother's house as collateral. The Bank of Zambia is finally answering. And this is how it works. This isn't a government grant, it's a credit guarantee. The government is acting as your co-signer. So when you go to a commercial bank in Q1 of 2026, the risk is shared. For you, the Q1 is already late, so let's say Q3, for example. If you default, the guarantee covers a portion. And this forces banks to lower interest rates and relax collateral requirements because their risk is mitigated. Here's the action plan. To access this fund, you need your Zambia-proof house in order. What does this mean? You need your PACA registration, your ZRA tax clearance, and most importantly, a viable 3-year cash flow projection. The money is there, but it's reserved for those who can prove that they can grow. If you haven't formalized your business yet, well, the 2,500 kwacha tax-exempt threshold hike, which we'll discuss later, is your invitation to do so now. Up next on the agenda is the 40.6 million kwacha CDF allocation. This has grown from 1.6 million kwacha in 2021 to a massive local engine. Here's the meat. This isn't just about fixing clinics. It's about local content. The 2026 guidelines are stricter. If a school in Shangombo needs desks, those desks must be sourced within the district if capacity exists. So here's the strategy. You need to stop looking to Lusaka for contracts. The money is decentralized now. So what you need to do is you need to look at the Constituency Development Fund Committee in your home area because they have a mandate to spend 40 million kwacha this year alone. Whether you provide catering, transport, or masonry, the procurement sieve is now absolutely and completely local. So if you aren't registered on the ZPPA EGP system just yet, well, then you're leaving your share of that 40 million kwacha on the table, and that's not something I want to hear. Let's take a look at the long game here. For larger industrial viewers, there's a technical bone marrow change, the EBITDA interest deduction. With the old way, you could only carry forward excess interest expenses for 5 years. The new way, the 2026 way, the time limit is completely removed. You can now carry forward disallowed interest indefinitely, capped at 30% of your EBITDA. This is why it matters. This is a green light for capital-intensive projects. If you want to build a solar farm or a manufacturing plant with a 15-year loan, you no longer have to worry about losing your tax deductibility after 5 years. This is the government Zambia-proofing long-term investment. They're telling the world, bring your big machines, we fixed the tax code to support your long-term debt. So as you know, it's not all about walking on roses. There are some thorns in our side as well. So let's talk about that because we have to be candid. And this growth, it does come at a price. There's a mobile money squeeze. The levy for transactions over 5,000 kwacha has jumped to 8 kwacha. It's a move to tax the informal sector to pay for these formal gains. If your business runs on mobile money, well, then your overheads have just ticked up. The dead handcuff is as follows, and it's mostly sobering because 73.7 billion kwacha of this budget, which is nearly 1 kwacha out of every 3 kwacha you pay in tax, is still going to debt servicing. Let that sink in. So we're free from the default tag, but we're still paying for the sins of the past. The UPND is performing an economic miracle with only 70% of the wallet, and that is quite something. The 2026 budget is more than just a list of figures. It is a blueprint for a nation that has finally stopped bleeding and started building. With over 80% domestic financing, a 5 billion kwacha credit guarantee, and a decentralized 40 million kwacha CDF, the macro foundation is absolutely set. Of course, I want you to have an Indaba in the comments, and here's my question for you today, because a blueprint is only as good as the builders, you, the guys watching. So my question is this: does the 5 billion kwacha guarantee give you the confidence to finally take that bank loan and expand? Or does the 73 billion kwacha legacy debt weight make you want to stay small and wait and see? I want to hear your strategy in the comments. So there you have it. The house is fixed and the budget is clear, crystal clear. Now it's time to see how this money actually touches the ground. Join us next time for our CDF Impact Report, where we go into the field to trace the 36 million kwacha in community projects to see if the reality matches the rhetoric. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay transparent, stay ambitious, stay Zambia proof. Till next time.